Well, look who it is. Liking what you've done with the place, boss. Gang certainly seem pleased with their new little kingdoms. Haven't seen people this revved up since last time someone spiked the water fountains. Never formally introduced myself. Name's Shank. And if you and Nuka World's favorite Cyclops are standing here, well, I suppose he expects you might be the one to finally get things back on track. How long it take him to convince you it was time to move on the Commonwealth?
Hey now, no convincing, just a friendly conversation between like-minded individuals.
Sounded like a good idea.
Because it is. Giving the gang spots to call their own around the park, it bought you some goodwill. But providing them with their own domains, carved from the settlements of the Commonwealth, well, I can't think of a better way to solidify your place around here. Plus, make us all a pretty penny along the way. If that interests you, well, all you've got to do is say the word, and we can let the fun begin.
I wanted to ask about your role in this.
I'm listening.
Which gang do you work for?
Don't work for the gangs. Gage brought me in to work for the overboss. Plan was I'd advise Coulter in his grand scheme to run roughshod over the Commonwealth. And despite Coulter's change of heart, I've kept my ear to the ground, just in case that day ever came. I'm hoping today might finally be it.
So, what exactly is it you do?
I'll walk you through all the ins and outs of getting us established on the other side of those mountains. Claiming territory, running jobs, keeping folks loyal. Gage and Coulter also tasked me with keeping on top of the goings-on back there, so I'll provide you with guidance on the places we can hit and the places we can't. Kind of makes me your one-stop shop for causing havoc in the Commonwealth.
What is it that you get out of helping me do this?
I've been well taken care of up to this point. I ain't greedy, but people with my kind of talents aren't common. All I'm looking for is a continuation of the lifestyle I've become accustomed to, and the same piece of the Commonwealth pie everyone else around here has been itching to take a bite of.
That was all I had.
So, does that mean you're ready to begin?
Okay, let's get started.
Music to my ears.
Shank ain't kidding. This is gonna be all kinds of fun.
So getting us set up in the Commonwealth is gonna require 3 things: territory, provisions, and loyalty. First things first, territory. We're gonna need to claim a settlement for our gang to work from, an outpost. And there are 2 ways to claim new territory. You can head in yourself and convince the locals to leave, or I can get a crew together and you all can put them in the dirt. How you do it is up to you. So, first big decision. You want to talk them off their land, or you want to wipe them out?
I think you know what I'd rather do, boss.
Get a gang together. Those settlers are as good as dead.
Ha! Stick with the classics. Now, once you and the crew have cleaned the place out, those lucky girls and boys will move in and start working the place. Of course, every outpost you claim for a gang is going to be something the other gangs don't have. And none of them like the thought of their rivals getting a leg up on them. Worth thinking over as you dole out more territory. So, which gang you want to join you on the job?
The operators.
Got it. I'm sure they'll appreciate you thinking of them.
I bet you they can manage to keep looking bored through the whole thing.
That just leaves the target. Now for a new outpost, you'll usually want to target a spot with plenty of populated settlements nearby, that might be able to feed our people later on. Taffington Boathouse, Croup Manor, Greentop Nursery, the Slog all had a good number of farms within striking distance last I checked. Though I'll need to go through my notes again, make sure they're all still good to target. We're not always going to be able to run every job against every settlement. So, you ready to pick the spot for Nuka World's first new homestead?
We can't target certain settlements with certain jobs?
Unfortunately. Can't talk people off their land if there's no one around to talk to and the like. Most cases, I'll try to let you know why we can't target a place, but the biggest hindrance is if there's already some activity going on there. Though if that is the case, that Pip-Boy of yours might be able to give you some info on whatever might be blocking us hitting that spot. Now, you ready to pick that first settlement?
What were those targets you'd recommended before?
Croup Manor, Taffington Boathouse, Greentop Nursery, and the Slog. Again, I can't guarantee those will all be available targets till I check my notes. But if they are, they're certainly a good place to start. Now you ready to make your decision?
I'm ready.
Good. So, where do you want to hit? Let me... Wait, pretty sure that place is one of yours, boss. That's where you want to hit?
Does that matter?
Only if you want to keep control of it. Targeting a settlement for a job is gonna break whatever connections you might have had to the place. Worth taking a moment to consider how much you like having that spot under your thumb. So, that the target?
Actually, I changed my mind.
You got it. So, you want to give me another target? Or did you maybe want to change up the job?
Let's do a different target.
You got it. So, what's the target? Let me... I think that one's your territory, boss. You're sure that's the one you want to hit?
That one's the target.
Of course, boss. So, these sorts of jobs are pretty straightforward. Move in, kill everything in sight. I'll make sure you've got some backup waiting for you. Help you deal with anyone this place manages to convince to throw in with them. Now, you're not going to be able to take a direct route to the place. Fast way to get yourself killed. So you'll have to meet our folks outside town. Wouldn't be surprised if some Minutemen showed up to lend a hand. Wish I could see their faces when they see who they're going up against. Now, if you're looking for something to give you an extra edge, might be worth checking in with some of the gang bosses. Probably got some trick or two up their sleeves. The crew that's joining you is just gonna have standard kits though. If you want to arm them up differently, I'd take along some extra gear. Show those settlers who's in charge.
Hey, boss, can I ask you something?
Didn't you just?
Oh my God, maybe I ought to just shoot you instead. Seriously though, we've been running together for a while now. You ain't afraid to take what you want, and don't let anybody get in your way. Got more guts than most folks. I guess what I'm wondering is, why? What's behind all this for you?
I just like being able to do whatever the hell I want.
It's a good way to live, long as it don't get you killed. You ask me, this whole damn world is here just to tear you down. Decks stacked against you from the very beginning. Most folks are too stupid to realize it. They just sort of stumble through, managing to scrape together some shitty little life for themselves. They struggle every day until something catches them off guard, and then that's it. lights out.
They're idiots, Gage.
That's what I mean. They don't get how it is. They don't see it coming. But then some folks are too aware of it, you know? They see the world for how fucked up it is. And so they decide they're gonna have it all. Right now. All the booze, all the chems, all the caps. And they don't care how they get it. In fact, if they can take it from others, they feel like they're getting the upper hand. Only, they ain't. Fucking raiders. They get so greedy, so focused on right now, they make some shitty mistakes. Wind up dead. Hell, maybe some of them are trying to get killed.
Shit, Gage. You need bandages for this bleeding heart of yours?
Nah, boss. I don't have sympathy for them. All these people. They either try too hard or not enough. Maybe not at all. You and me, though, we're different. We know how to walk the line between fighting for what we deserve and getting out of control. Don't know about you, but I had this shit figured out early. Grew up in your average crap-hole settlement with parents that meant well, but they were pushovers. Watched them get smacked around by raider gangs for years, handing over whatever they had to keep their lives. One day, I'm watching them cower in front of some punk with a gun, and it just hits me. I ain't gonna end up like this, I says to myself. So I bail. I'm what, 12 years old? Didn't matter. I'd seen enough of the world to know how shit works.
I'm sure it was a tough choice.
You'd think so, but no, not really. Just seemed like what I had to do. I bounced around for a few years, taking whatever jobs I could to pay for food, one way or another. I was running for a caravan for a while, did some scavenging, did odd jobs for settlements. No matter what, one thing never changed. When the raiders came through, everyone rolled over. Raiders took what they wanted, moved on, and that was that. Didn't take long before I finally figured out where I'd really been heading all along. Next time a gang came through, I joined. Worked my way up over the years, and now here we are. Running with you now? Seems like it was all worth it.
You made the right choice, Gage.
Yeah, I sure did. I'm just saying. It feels like you get it. Whatever you've been through, you can relate. Good to have someone like that around, as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, enough being sentimental, I suppose. Let's go kill some shit.
More outposts you claim, the easier it's gonna be to intimidate settlements near them.
Hey there.
Scouted them out, boss. Brought us in for the fun job, huh? Putting down some settlers and their friends. Time for us to move in?
There anything I should know about the place we're about to hit?
Seems pretty straightforward. We live, they all die. Now, time we get started?
Let's get this show on the road.
Hell yes.
Something? This is gonna hurt. I'm gonna piss on your corpse. Someone watch what you win. Don't leave anything behind, if you can help it.
Well, well. Looks like someone should have fought harder.
Hey.
Yeah. I'm thinking this place will do. At least once we get some supplies coming in. You ought to head back, boss. Let him know how it went.
Well, well. Word going around is there's some new raider boss tearing up the Commonwealth. Not too shabby.
It's a damn good start.
I'll make sure your cut of any caps the outpost pulls in are waiting in your quarters. So, now that we got part 1 on the books, we can move on to part 2, provisions. If you want to hang on to this newfound territory, you're going to need to convince a nearby settlement to start handing over shipments of supplies. I'll make sure those shipments get distributed direct to the outpost. Any caps they provide will be waiting in your trunk up in Fizztop. And the more a settlement produces for itself, the more of each we can get them to cough up. Now, like before,
Kneecaps? Meet bullets.
sounds good. I'll make sure everyone knows this is a maiming job. So, which gang you want to back you up?
The operators.
I'll send word along. Then all that's left is the target. Only wrinkle is that it's got to be near our crew's new outpost. No settlement's just gonna hand over goods if there's no one close by to follow up on threats. And if you ever want to see for yourself which settlements are within range of our outpost, you can check the map in your Pip-Boy. The Slog might be a good choice to hit, though I'd have to confirm that's still the case. So, what's the target? Oh, that place. Isn't that one of your old stomping grounds? Sure that's the one?
That one's the target.
Ruthless. Now, forcing a place to turn over provisions ain't complicated. Beat the locals so bad they don't want to fight anymore. Put any backup they might have called in the dirt. I'll make sure there's a crew waiting when you get there, and that they know they're only allowed to kill the hired help. Watch yourself out there.